A very good evening and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Primetime News. I'm Joy Gosses. Primetime News marks its 1-year anniversary today. We therefore would like to thank you, our loyal subscribers, for your viewership and support. And on that note, we commence tonight's bulletin with the opening of the August House. President Dr. Hage Geingob earlier today opened the 5th session of the 7th Parliament virtually. Edward Mumbu attended the ceremony and compiled the story.
Without further ado, let me come to the task for which you have invited me by pointing out the following bills which are up for tabling during the course of the year. These are Combating of Rape Amendment Bill, 2. Combating of Domestic Violence Amendment Bill, 3. Criminal Procedure Amendment Bill, 4. High Court Amendment Bill, 5. Magistrate Court Amendment Bill, 6. Divorce Bill, 7. Torture Bill, 8. Obsolete Laws Bill, 9. Ombudsman Bill, 10. Child Justice Bill, and 11. Marriage Bill, 12. Uniform Marriages Bill, 13. Banking Institutions Amendment Bill, and 14. Metrology Bill. I will highlight some of the key ones as follows. The Combating of Rape Amendment Bill will greatly assist in combating, curbing, and eliminating the incidences of rape to safeguard our innocent women and children from this evil committed by criminally minded citizens. The incidences of rape must not only be severely reduced, but must be totally eradicated from the Namibian society, because this vile crime is a scourge which demeans and violates the dignity of our people. Hence, perpetrators should receive the heaviest punishment under our laws to deter them from committing this evil.
Shifting our attention to crime, a joint sting operation between the Namibian Police Force and Windhoek City Police on Monday led to the arrest of 7 suspects in connection with a robbery at gunpoint in Windhoek's Maruo Mall. Erasmus Shaliahwe compiled this report.
On Monday, Nampol Chief Inspector Elifas Kuwinga reported that a Cuban businesswoman was robbed of 162,000 Namibian dollars at Maruo Mall while on her way to deposit the cash at a bank with a colleague. It is alleged that the 2 women were attacked by 4 male suspects wearing black masks, armed with pistols, which they used to fire a shot during the scuffle before fleeing with the money. However, on Tuesday morning, Nampol's Khomas Regional Commander Commissioner Ismail Basson reported that 7 suspects were arrested around 6 o'clock on Tuesday during the operation that started at 9 in the evening on Monday. He said the team managed to recover 18,000 Namibian dollars in cash from one of the suspects and another cash amount of 8,700 Namibian dollars from a second suspect. Further searches by the police led to more discoveries of money totaling 26,700 Namibian dollars from the same suspects and a red Volkswagen Polo with a Windhoek number plate used during the robbery was seized. Another Polo sedan with Walvis Bay registration was also seized along with a Toyota Corolla Quest that was also used in the robbery. However, it was later discovered that the Toyota Corolla Quest belongs to the mother of one of the suspects.
The Landless People's Movement says veterans of the liberation struggle never suffered land dispossession at the hands of colonial Germany or apartheid South Africa, and should not be prioritized for resettlement farms. Edward Mumbu Jr. compiled this insert.
The movement was similarly hitting back at one of the clauses of the Land Conference, which places veterans of the liberation struggle in a special bracket for consideration in the resettlement program alongside those who lost land through the heinous genocide of 1904 to 1908. The LPM made these submissions in an 18-page dossier titled Building a Capable State Post-COVID-19 to President Dr. Hage Geingob last week. In it, LPM makes a number of proposals to the head of state, including how the dejected Haidkom community can be unchained from the jaws of poverty. At the heart of LPM's report is land reform, an area where, according to leader Bernardo Swartboy, the government of the day failed dismally. A section in the report reads, veterans of the liberation struggle never lost any outer of land, and as such the prioritization of veterans in resettlement must be stopped with immediate effect, adding that genocide victims must be prioritized by law in the resettlement program. At present, LPM said the resettlement program is skewed as it favors the political elites, their kin and kin, and those within close proximity to power to the detriment of the landless masses.
Moving on to environmental matters. Incidences of human-wildlife conflict are on the increase and continue to be of great concern. Chief Public Relations Officer in the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, Romeo Muyunda, revealed that another incident of a crocodile attack at the Banana Village in the Muko constituency took place recently. The attack is the third since the beginning of the year. Sawi Hausiku compiled this report.
Muyunda, in a media statement on Monday, said a woman whose age is unknown went to fetch water at the river on Friday at around 1:30 in the afternoon when she was attacked by a crocodile. The woman saved herself by fighting the crocodile off and survived with serious injuries to her hands and leg. He said following the incident, officials from the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism put up a crocodile capture cage with warthog meat in it as bait. Muyunda explained that it was established on Sunday that the meat was removed by unknown person or people out of the cage, thus the exercise to have the crocodile killed was not successful. The spokesperson advised that as the water level continues to rise, predators and other dangerous animals are on the move, and appealed to those living along the river to be cautious and vigilant when using the river for their daily livelihood. Last month, a 14-year-old female learner was attacked and killed by a crocodile at Tikanduku village in Mukwe constituency, while a 5-year-old girl also died from a crocodile attack at Katere village in the Kavango East region.
Stand by for your top roundup. In the business and economic segment tonight, we begin in neighboring Zimbabwe, where the country's Reserve Bank Governor, John Mangunja, on Monday revealed that the economy grew by 7.8% in 2021, but is expected to recover at a slower rate of 5.5% in 2022 due to the effects of COVID-19 and supply chain disruptions. Shinwa gives us an in-depth report.
He said growth in 2022 would be driven by construction and mining as international commodity prices increased, as well as accommodation and food services, in line with the easing of COVID-19 restrictions. Mangunja said in the 2022 monetary policy statement released Monday that the ongoing progress in vaccinations against COVID-19 and a return to normal business will revive and boost economic activity and set the economy on a sustained growth trajectory in 2022 and beyond. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe governor noted that the domestic economic recovery is expected to continue, albeit at a slower rate of 5.5% from 7.8% recorded in 2021.
The World Wildlife Fund today revealed marine pollution has increased to worrisome levels globally, as plastic has infiltrated all parts of the ocean and is now found in the smallest plankton up to the largest whale. The organization called for urgent efforts to create an international treaty on plastics. AFP gives us more.
Tiny fragments of plastics have reached even the most remote and seemingly pristine regions of the planet. It peppers Arctic's sea ice and has been found inside fish in the deepest recesses of the ocean, the Mariana Trench. There is no international agreement in place to address the problem, although delegates meeting in Nairobi for the United Nations Environment meeting this month are expected to launch talks on a worldwide plastic treaty. WWF sought to bolster the case for action in its latest report, which synthesizes more than 2,000 separate scientific studies on the impact of plastic pollution on the ocean, biodiversity, and marine ecosystems. The report acknowledged that there is currently insufficient evidence to estimate the potential repercussions on humans. The WWF report said, according to some estimates, between 19 to 23 million tons of plastic waste is washed into the world's waterway every year. This is largely from single-use plastics, which still constitute more than 60% of marine pollution, although more and more countries are acting to ban their use.
That's all the top news we had for you this evening. The Economics Roundup is up next, followed by the weather forecast.
A very good evening and a warm welcome to Sport Planet. I'm Selima Shimwefeleni Masipa. We kick off with Botswana Premier League football. The Chief Executive Officer of the Botswana Premier League, Solomon Ramachotwane, says Namibian players who have been signed for Botswana teams are adding value to the game in that country. Marco Ndlovu gives us this report.
Thank you very much for the inquiry. Yes, we have got quite a lot of Namibian football players joining our Premier League this side. It is due to the attractiveness of the league, and also that in the past we've been having quite very good players coming from Namibia in the name of Benson Chilongo and Jerome Lewis, who have really helped in our clubs here locally in winning the championships. And this belief has actually now gone to the clubs to make sure that now they go for these players from Namibia as well, so that they can also try and get in that value. And what is really happening is that recently we have Botswana Football League Board of Directors unanimously took a resolution to increase the number of foreign players from 3 to 5 in a bid to try and shake up the league and make it competitive international, so that our representatives to the Champions League or to the CAF Cup should also compete with their counterpart very well.
Moving on to European football, Christian Eriksen says he knew he would play football again just 2 days after suffering a cardiac arrest. Eriksen collapsed on the pitch at the Parken Stadium in June during Denmark's European Championship group game against Finland. More on this from DPA.
En route to the hospital in Copenhagen, he told his wife Sabrina that he would probably never play football again. However, that quickly changed. The 29-year-old was fitted with an implantable device days after the collapse, and doctors gave him hope he could play again. Eriksen was unable to continue his career with Inter Milan due to rules in Italy concerning athletes fitted with the device. But after the Denmark midfielder completed the relevant medical assessments, he was able to sign for Brentford on the final day of the January transfer window. Eriksen has been out of football since the incident at Euro 2020 last summer.
Your sports roundup is up next. With that, we've come to the end of tonight's edition of Primetime News. Thank you for joining us. A reminder that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, share, and click on the notifications bell to stay up to date on the latest happenings locally and globally. Feel free to add your comments as well in the comment section. Do catch us tomorrow. From myself, Salima Shumwefeleni Masipa, and the entire production crew, it's good night.